Hello, my beautiful people. How are you doing? I'm so excited to have you again on our channel, to Learn, Share, and Grow Together. And by now, if you're already a follower of this channel, you would know that I love adventure, I love travels, I love experience, and I love sightseeing. These are things that will take you a while to learn if you're just to read books, or you might just keep imagining them. But once you experience them and you see them, they stay with you, and you get diverse meanings from them. So, um, my previous videos will tell you I'm currently based in Cotonou. My previous videos will tell you about my visit to Togo, in and around of Cotonou, and I have been highly. I've been planning a lot to go to Porto Novo, which is the capital of Benin Republic. Yeah, Porto Novo is the capital of Benin Republic, and just as Abuja is the capital of Nigeria, Porto Novo is the capital of Benin Republic, but Cotonou is the economic hub of Benin Republic, as Lagos is the economic hub of Nigeria. So Cotonou is more densely populated than Cotonou, just like Lagos is more densely populated than Abuja. But on the flip side, we do not have more rich people in Porto Novo compared to Lagos. So I believe they moved the capital to Porto Novo to develop that area too, which is very good, so that you don't just concentrate on the development in Cotonou. So um, this is how my journey began from Cotonou to Porto Novo, and as you can see, this is my journey from Cotonou. If you've ever been on this trip already, this is the path to Cotonou. There's a dedicated lane by the right hand side for the bikes, the bikes and tricycles. And I mentioned in my previous video they are called kekeno. Yeah, keke. Okay, so with that being said, the journey from Cotonou, from that roundabout to Porto Novo, is about 30 to 32 kilometers. So it's about 30 minutes drive, or 32 minutes thereabout. And what is exciting about this is the fact that there is no traffic, both in the day or in the night. Of course, um, you could attribute that to maybe the population, but there is vast infrastructure to cater for the current population that are traveling this route. So the roads are good, so you have good cars that are applying this road. And thanks to my partner on this trip, um, his car was very good, so I enjoyed the ride. And it rained on this day, and being, of course, still in West Africa, we always love rains. The rains make the environment more cooler and friendlier. And talking about the environment, the entire Benin Republic, for the parts I have visited, and from the parts you can see, you see there's lots of green vegetation. So um, you we get more good fresh air to breathe. And you can imagine these places are not habitated, but you can see street lights. So when we talk about infrastructure, people think you're over exaggerating, but you can clearly see for yourselves these places are not even really habitated, but they are just the pathway, and you already have street lights. So talking about uh, um, the ecosystem, it's not polarized. The trip was really awesome, and in a short while, we were already in the heart of Port Novo. So Port Novo starts off like lesser villages precedes it. Yeah, lesser villages precedes it. Like what you can see, all these parts are like the entry point into Port Novo. One thing I have, so we realized that at the end of this little um, goes traffic, there was a broken down vehicle in front. That was what was causing this hold up. So one thing I have realized about the entire Beninese or Beninois is that when it comes to religion, they are liberal. you have the Christian religion, you have the Islamic religion, and you have the traditional people. That's the voodoo. I wouldn't say they read the voodoo more than any other religion, but they celebrate all. So to your right here, you will see a church. This entire land space is a church, and from the way it's built and designed, you'll know that it's been there for a while. There are two sculptures there that represent maybe their leaders. So if you have a structure like this that's just a church, it tells you that all religions are more or less accepted. They have their separate holidays. All of them are separate celebrated. I think they have about three holidays for the voodoo or tradition. I don't know if that is the global name they call um, tradition religion here. So I might not be knowing that because over here people don't people don't I'm not, how do I put it? I'm trying to look for the right word. I'm not sure if what I'm going to say is the right word. I'm not I'm not So basically, what I'm trying to say is people don't ask you what's your religion. People expect that if you have a religion, practice it. Unlike where I hail from, people want to know, are you a Christian? Are you a Muslim? Are you this? Oh, and everybody just practice what they practice. People just have their weekend to themselves. If it's a church you go to, if it's a mosque, if it's this, nobody even talks. I've never heard that conversation anywhere. For the time being, I've been here. For the places I've even visited, I've never heard people talking about religion. I've never even heard people talk about um, stuff like, are you married? How many kids do you have? I tell you, if you come to this location, you can stay an entire year. Nobody asks you, are you married? Like it's a good question, but when you're asking it to the wrong person, for instance, somebody that has not been married and has been searching or looking for, you put like peer pressure on them. So there is nothing like peer pressure here. Um, but people, what I've come to realize that people tend to have children at an early stage. Um, they might not necessarily be married. They might be married, but it's not an issue if you see a young lady have a baby. I mean, the guys accept responsibility, but they might not just be staying together. They might not just be formally married, but I think it's like a thing here. So you see a guy of 23 already has a son that is about maybe 5 or 7 years old, or they have two kids that are old. So um, they take time to also take care of their kids. I'm not saying it's a rich country, but they don't just. I've never seen anybody here have above three. I think the highest I've seen is three. So there might be very few people that have four, five, or thereabout, but I think the cap here is usually three at most. And even those that have three are seen as having lots of children. Um, so this is just like the entrance into Port Novo. I'm not sure this is specifically called Port Novo. If that, I'm sure they will have their own local name, but my partner wasn't so sure, so he told me that we can term this whole place from here into Port Novo. So we had actually had an official assignment to come do on this day. I don't know how big entirely Port Novo is, but just a little distance from here, we got to our destination, and it took us about 6 hours for us to return back. At this point, this was around mid noon. This was almost 1 p.m. or 2 thereabout, and when we were done was around almost 7 p.m. So beyond this point, we might be getting some kind of a night time from Port Novo back to Cotonou. So if you are looking at embarking on a journey to Port Novo, or you are considering to reside between Cotonou and Port Novo, these are some of the gist I have for you. Sit tight and make sure you have popcorn to enjoy the gist. But before that, if you have not subscribed, the question is, what are you waiting for at this point? If you really want to hear gist, then subscribe for more gist. In fact, let me use this point as a breaking news to tell you that not too far from now, I'll be giving you one breaking new relocation that I'm sure you'll be excited to hear about. So don't miss out on this. Take your time to click on the subscribe button. It's free, just in case you are wondering. It's free to click the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that when I drop all these videos, you are informed and alerted immediately. Okay, so um, yeah, so at this point we're already returning back. At this point, we're already returning back to Cotonou. So if you are considering staying in Porto Novo and you're considering the language, um, Yoruba is widely spoken in Porto Novo than Cotonou. In Cotonou, you hand pick people that speak Yoruba, but that Yoruba is not directly like that of Nigerian, but you are able to find a way to communicate. So if you speak Yoruba, good and fine. It doesn't even, you don't even need to speak good Yoruba, just be able to understand it and try and communicate the best you can, you're able to survive in these places because they also don't speak that Nigerian Yoruba. So both of you on the same level, you try to speak this kind of Yoruba and you find a way to meet at a very basic, at a midpoint, and you perform your transactions. So um, there are less, um, there, Port Novo is less densely populated. There are less law enforcement agents in Port Novo compared to Cotonou. Cotonou is the hub, is more populated than Port Novo. You have more law enforcement agents. Things are way more expensive in Cotonou than in Port Novo. Yeah, of course, you would expect that things are way more expensive. So if you're looking to settle, and both places are close to Nigeria, but the Port Novo part is close to Ogun State, Yanokwaja area of Lagos, Ogun State, and all those places. While Cotonou is strictly through uh, Badagry into Lagos. So depending on the area you're staying and you want to come to um, Benin Republic, if you are staying around the Ogun State area, you most likely will come through Port Novo. Yeah, it will be close to you through the border in that area. But if you are staying in Lagos, you will most likely come through maybe Oshodi or Yaba or VI or Lekki. You will most likely come through the Badagry axis. In all the cases, you need to have your ID card, international ID card, or a passport at best. And I just recently realized that if you are going to stay more than 90 days in Benin Republic, you ought to keep stamping your passport at the border. So this is an important information so that you don't break the law. So if you are staying more than 90 days in Cotonou in Benin Republic, I mean, not just Cotonou, you have to always go back to the border. I will advise you don't, there is nothing, it does not make any sense entering into another country illegally. It does not make any sense. Just ensure that you have the right documents, maybe your papers, whatever it is, passport, so that you enter legally. And if you are coming in with a job and it's able to give you resident permit, just make sure you do everything by the book so that you don't have to be running. Don't just always live your life on the edge. It does not make any sense. Do what is right, and you will be happy. Okay, so I already mentioned that the distance from Cotonou to Port Novo is not far; it's just 30 minutes. So you can always enjoy yourself. There are lots of stuff to buy on the roadside because, like I mentioned, these are um, homegrown or naturally grown products. So you have mangoes, you have different products that I bought. In fact, I had to take time to pack and buy yams and fresh fruits. Fresh fruits, you are guaranteed at a very affordable price. At a very affordable price. But don't forget on the black market, the Cephas is still higher than the naira. So yeah, just to point that out in case I see a lot of people ask that question. The server is still higher at this point in April 2023. The server is still higher than the naira. Okay, so that is out there. Okay, so our journey back to Cotonou was seamless. Yeah, the rain had subsided. It was seamless, and I was looking forward to what the night time would be like. I mentioned when we were coming, we had traffic lights. You can see the traffic light on the left hand side. Now, when we were coming, it was on the right hand side, and automatically they started lighting up when it was becoming more dark. And you would imagine if for a small African country like this, life expectancy rate is encouraged. Why wouldn't you want to live in such an environment? I wasn't scared of harassment. unnecessary checkpoints where you have to be stopped, and it's easy to spot a foreigner here. Obviously, maybe because you don't speak the language, but then you're confident that, in fact, I have been close to law enforcement agent carrying gun, and you are not threatened. I mean, you are not scared that this guy is we just there's nothing. I've never heard anything like um trigger happy policeman or so. These guys treat people with welcoming smile, with intelligence, with lots of brilliance. Like you, like they understand their job. They have their role to play, and they play it extremely well. It's just so exciting to live in a society or in a community where your law enforcement agents are not trigger happy, or they do things out of the norm. I also want to point out that Cotonou does not produce oil, I mean fuel. So most times it's either you buy from the uh, petrol station or the gas station, depending on where you're watching from, as you might get it. Let me use the opportunity to say, wherever you're watching from, I will want you to indicate on the comment section if you're watching from Nigeria, highlight if you're watching from the United States, Jamaica, wherever it is. So, depending on the area, it might be called filling station or gas station or petrol station. Um, it's compared to where I'm coming from, it's kind of on the high side. So most people buy from the roadside, and they find a way to filter it just to make it not damage their car. So it's like a practice. It's not completely encouraged, but that is what it is currently, just to sustain, because they live close to Nigeria that is oil producing. They know the cost there, but it's illegal to cross that for. So yeah, so that's how they survive here. So we are already embarking on our journey back to Cotonou, and as you can see, it's just such an exciting route. I basically had a great time. Yeah, it was great to see what Porto Novo was. It's a very quiet city, and of course, the architectures are are, are awesome. They are, I think, the architectures that are coming up there are much more beautiful than Cotonou. But Porto Novo is an ancient city. It has its own history and story. So um, the remaining part of this video will be giving you the nightlife in Cotonou. And a lot of people know Cotonou more than Porto Novo. So I decided to continue the video to show you the nightlife. In fact, I want to encourage you. I'm doing this as free advert for the Benin government. Cotonou is an exciting place if you want to to come. Maybe take a time out. I wouldn't advise a day. I would advise you to come for an entire week. Yeah, you can actually drive your car from Nigeria into Cotonou. Just pay your laissez-passer and get your necessary documents. I'm not even sure it's that expensive. It's very depending on what you call expensive, but it will give you good and good time, because when you have your car, you're able to drive around. That's when you get to see the beauty of the city, and not just during the daytime. Go through the night. I showed you a sculpture of the woman king in Cotonou, in Benin, that represented a true life story in Benin. If you've not watched that video, go and watch that video so that you will know how people in Benin fought against the French slave masters until they were overcome. And so they put up a monument to honor them. That monument is just it's 30 feet tall, 30 meters tall. So it's almost like a seven-story building sculpture. It's just so magnificent. So a lot of other sites like that, and even the architecture, their buildings in the Kajewu area, in the Marina area, in the Aviv area, in the Vijose area, would just excite you. The way their pharmacies, you see that green light by the right. These are how their pharmacies are indicated. I think they named their pharmacies by the town, or the, I don't know, maybe by the area. It's just exciting. Pharmacies are big deals here, I tell you, because The hospitals don't sell drugs to you. No, the hospitals don't sell drugs to you at all. They don't give you drugs. They make reference, they just give you prescription. You go to the pharmacy and you get your drugs. So the pharmacy here in Benin are big deals. As a matter of fact, the way you have HMO for hospital, that's how you have HMO for pharmacy. Yeah, you have HMO for pharmacy. So you go to the pharmacy with your HMO card or your medic, they call it the medical insurance card. And and drugs are very expensive because they sell good drugs, of course. They sell good drugs. So drugs are expensive. So for if you are using an HMO card, for a drug that is 10,000, maybe you get to pay just 10% and you pay 1,000 sefa on your way. So um you are getting to see that the road is good. So if you have your kids with you, if you're just going with your partner, you are going alone, you are guaranteed that your car would not be giving you bumps here and there, and no policeman will be stopping you unnecessarily. Though the roads are fine, you are not expected to just drive and be drawing unnecessary attention to yourself, regardless of the kind of vehicle you are driving. Just enjoy yourself, whether you wind down, whether you're using AC in your car, you would definitely enjoy your time in Benin. So let me just allow you enjoy the rest of the videos. I'll play you some good music, and if you have any comment, any question, any suggestion, please drop it on the comment section. And I hope to see you in the next video. And remember, you have to subscribe, share. Thank you.